Hi, I'm Nick Barraclough, President at AKCP, and thanks for tuning in. For those of you who've been following along with the progress of the construction of our test data center, welcome back. And for those of you who haven't been following along, I'd encourage you to go and take a look at some of our previous videos so you can see exactly what it is that we're doing here. But in short, we're building a 1 megawatt test data center facility where we're going to be showcasing all of the AKCP's technologies in both security, power, and environmental monitoring, as well as some innovative ideas in the layout of the cooling system of the data center itself. For those of you who haven't been following along, I'm going to show you a short video now that kind of introduces exactly what it is we're doing here and the different setups that we've got with our hot and cold aisle containment and different configurations of the cooling system. So for those of you who are already familiar with what we're doing here, you might want to skip forward a few moments. And for those of you who aren't, here's an introduction to what it is we're building. So what you can see on the screen right now is our 3D representation of the test data center that's under construction. We've got hot aisle containment, cold aisle containment, fan walls. We have a few videos which go into more detail on this, which you can check out the link in the description. In addition to the hot aisle containment with the rooftop heat exchangers, we'll also have in-row AHUs and the fan wall in there. And then in our cold aisle containment area, we have a raised access floor and in-row AHUs also. I hope that gives you a little better understanding of what it is we're doing with our test data center. And the progress that's been going on over the past couple of weeks is we've been starting to install the ductwork, which is carrying the cold air supply to the non-data center parts of the facility. So that's our offices and conference room and so on. So let's go down to the test data center itself and take a look at the work that's been going on with the installation of our HVAC ducting. Here we are then inside of the test data center where we're installing the HVAC ducting. So this ducting here is painted red, and this is going to be carrying our hot air return back to our cooling system. And then up mounted already on the ceiling, we have the blue ducting. So the blue ducting is going to be carrying the cold air, and the red ducting will carry the hot air return. So the cold air will be being generated from our own heat exchangers supplied by our cold water, which is produced by our chiller, which is out the back, which we've seen in previous videos. So the cold water will be generating the cold air, which will travel through the blue ductwork and will provide cold air to the non-data center parts of the facility. So the data center itself will be being cooled with air which has been generated either with the fan wall or the in-row or the overhead heat exchangers, as we've discussed in our previous videos. And what we're dealing with here is cooling the non-data center parts. So that would be our conference room, office areas, and so on. Now, the concept is that we'll be taking the waste cold water, which is cooling the non-data center parts of the facility, and that will still be cool enough to actually be reused inside of the data center and provide cooling in here. So we have a water reuse system where the wastewater from the building is being used to cool down the data center facility, and that's part of the innovations in our cooling system that we're going to be putting here in the AKCP test data center. So they're almost done with putting in the cold ducts. So then we just have the hot ducts to put in. The cold ducts took a little bit longer because after being mounted up there, we had to put insulation around them and then wrap them because obviously they're carrying cold air. We don't want to lose energy efficiency by them radiating. And also as well, we don't want condensation forming on the surface, which will drip down into the data center hall here. So everything has had to be well insulated and wrapped, which took a little bit of time after mounting them. But the hot air returns are just painted red. So, you know, they stand out a little bit. We've got red and blue, but that's mostly because in the videos and when we do tours around the data center, it'll be much more visible and easy for me to explain the system when we have the red ducts and the blue ducts. You can visualize actually how the system is functioning and what part of the data center is doing what. So I hope that you found this week's video informative. And don't forget to like and subscribe and follow along. We're trying to get about a video a week following our progress here. We are getting closer to finishing. So after this ductwork is in, the last major works we've got left to do is installing all of the water pipes. And once that's in, we can move in all of the racks, which have already been delivered and just waiting to be put in. So left after this is the water system, putting in the racks, and then we can hopefully energize and start running the test data center.